what do you get when you combine an ocean and a cliff with Minecolonies fortress and a cavern? Let's find out. Hello everybody, it's Lady Shatana, and welcome back to another one of my Minecolonies inspiration videos. Hopefully what I have for you today is going to tickle your fancy and make your imagination soar. So let's actually get right into it. Today we are going to be building in this amazing spot. Anytime you go building with Minecolonies, the most important thing is finding a place that makes your heart happy and just, you know, makes it sing with joy. And that is what this little spot does here. It's a lovely cliff. I love cliffs. Right on the ocean. I love oceans. And it has a bunch of personality, which I really like. Now I am building with my mod pack, which is the Minecolonies Simple Life on CurseForge, and so this terrain may not be quite what you would get in vanilla, because I do have some mods in there that do terrain generation, but this is the spot I have chosen. I will put the seed into the description of the video if you decide you want to try this out yourself. And it's quite easy to find. Spawn is right over here, and we're building just right over here. So you're quite close to that. Now we will be building today with Cavern, of course, because I am the Cavern Queen, and I love Cavern. And we're also going to be building with Fortress. Fortress, you say? Cavern Queen, crazy lady. What do you think you're doing trying to build a fortress on an ocean? I know it sounds crazy, but that's why we're here, is to try out some ideas that seem a little bit crazy. So let's actually get right into it. So the first thing we're going to do anytime we find a place that makes us happy is drop down our supply ship to give ourselves a little home, a little place to start. So you're going to take your supply ship item that you've created, and we're going to right click anywhere. Select our style. We are going to be using the Cavern supply ship because I do have that built-in builder in it, so I'm quite fond of it. We're then going to place the supply ship, and we're going to hit escape so we can move around and take a look at where we're at. And we're going to drop that down because obviously we were quite a bit too high. Back up by one, so you want to be right in the water. We want to give some space between the ship and the cliff itself. And pardon me there. And let's see, I'm going to move that over, and I'm going to move it up this way just a little bit. And it makes sense later why we want to have it so far up. Maybe let's go there. That seems like a pretty good spot. Okay, we're gonna place our ship. Now that we've got that, of course, we're gonna go into the ship and find the storage that has the town hall block and the build tool, and you're gonna take those so we can establish our actual colony. Now, you are going to want to do a little bit of gathering before you get going. Normally with Fortress, you're going to gather a ridiculous amount of stone. You're going to want to have some, but it won't be too bad because we will be digging into that cliff and we'll be gathering a bunch of stone that way, which is a really good benefit to combining Fortress with Cavern, because as you're digging out that mountain, you're getting the supplies that you need. But two other things that you are going to want to gather are some dark oak, because the lower levels of Fortress are a lot of dark oak, and you're going to want to gather a lot of dirt. So believe me, it's going to make sense why, but you are going to want to have at least a couple of chests, probably full of, at least one chest, I would say, full of dirt before you get going. All right, so we need to establish our colony. So I always do a little bit of safety and get rid of things like lava and stuff like that, because we don't want to worry about either ourselves or our colonists jumping into that lava by accident. All right, so we're going to use our build tool and we're going to switch us over to Fortress. Now you can scroll down or you can type into that search box. We're going to go to Fundamentals, down to Town Hall, and it's going to bring us up that level 1 for the preview. Now we are going to want to take a look at it. Now where these fences come up here, that is the front of the Town Hall. That faces forward, so you want to move that around so it's in the front. We're gonna move this over so that it's not colliding with our ship, and that is right up against the cliff wall but not in it. So we're gonna move this out a little bit so we can have it, oops. Let's try that, and where's our directions here? Try that, see how we feel about that. Now, as I always say with anything that you're building in Minecolonies, you do always want to preview it at level 5 and take a look at what you're going to end up with. So as you can see, we're going to end up where we're right up against a cliff there, and it's quite imposing. Fortress is pretty awesome that way, and I'm probably going to want to give a little bit more space. Yeah, that'll be pretty good. So that's to give you an idea of what you're going to end up with. We're going to drop that back down to level 1. Now, with Fortress, usually we're telling you to pull up your chunk borders and making sure that the town hall itself is exactly aligned with the chunks. Now, the way we're going to be using it today, we don't need to worry about that too much. However, there is still a good reason to take a look at that F3 and G. So let's pull that up. So F3 and G pulls up your chunk borders. Now, what we were looking for is the location of the town hall block. It's always going to be outlined in red. And we can see here these yellow lines are the actual chunk borders. Now, if when you put this up, if you find that this is just on the outside of a chunk, you want to move it so it's just to the inside of a chunk, if you can. It will prevent some digging for you later if you're able to do that. So in this case, you still want to be like working with the cliff, but we've got that just on this side of that chunk border, so that's going to give us the extra chunk on this side when it claims your colony, and not on this side. We don't need it on this side, we need it on this side. Okay, so now we've double checked that. We know that the town hall block is on the correct side of the chunk, and that's all that I'm concerned about with taking a look at those chunk borders. Everything else, we're going to be working with Fortress in a different way today, so I'm not worried about it. I am making sure that my ground layer, I'm doing it right on the water level, but just that one block above it. You can do what you want. If you want to do it a bit higher and have like, maybe pilings or something, so you have space between the water and your colony, you can absolutely do that. If you want to try doing something crazy where you're doing a big dip down, a lot more work, but if you want to do that, you can. But this is how I'm going to do it. So I'm going to show you as I said, the level 1 at the end, but we're going to pop in everything at level 5 so that by the time we're done, we've got a complete, fully upgraded colony to take a look at. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to place that constructed right there. Now, because we cheated, we are looking much more finished than what you normally would. But we still do need to come in and actually establish our colony. So you're going to read this because it's awesome. We're going to found the colony, and the first thing I always do is I turn off new citizen spawning, and I'm going to turn off construction tape because it's not going to be super helpful in our particular case. Now, as I've said in other videos, I always turn off villager spawning or citizen spawning after that first one shows up, so that you only have that first builder working and you're not worrying about your other people wandering around unhappy while you're at it. Now, he's got a nice safe building to be in right now because of how we're building, but normally you would want to build that kind of dirt platform out so he has a place to be, so he's not swimming and potentially trying to drown himself, which is why I said it was very important to get that dirt before you get going, so that you can go ahead and build that platform out and help him out a little bit for that. So you're going to start off by creating your builder's hut, because of course you can't do anything without a builder's hut. And you're going to be following the Cavern rules, Cavern guidelines for this. And we're going to be placing, so we're going to be doing, you're going to really have to be aware of what style you're in when you're doing the various things. So switching back to Cavern, pulling up the alternative builder's hut and that supply builder, and flipping things around until everything is where it should be. I do know that that is where it lines up. When you take a look at it at the level 5, you can see that everything lines up just beautifully. And as you know, if you saw my other video where I talked about these builders, this whole area down here will not be affected by the upgrades. So you can put whatever you want down here, whatever you want up in the front there, and at the very back over here where you've got the mini smelter set up and everything, these are all going to be unaffected by the builder hut, so you can put whatever you like here. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to drop this in, and again we're going to drop it in at level 5, and kind of cheat that way. So normally it wouldn't be quite this messy, but there we go. So going in the order of things, so we have dropped down the town hall and we've built that first builder's hut. You're then going to build that first level of the town hall. And it's something I don't always say that you need to do right at the beginning, because generally the town hall isn't required until you get a bit more established in the colony. But in this case, we are building everything else off of that town hall. So Fortress is one of those ones where you really do need to kind of build that right away. So once you get that first level town hall in, we are then going to be moving into the cavern part of things a little bit. Well, Thiago hangs out there. So we're taking a look at these entrances. So the Town Hall Fortress has the entrances all around this lower level, and we're going to be building into that cliff and utilizing these entrances here. So you're going to open these up a little bit, and what you're probably going to do is just do a little bit of pre-work. You're going to come out, I would say 4 or 5 or 6 blocks, and then just open up a space. And it's going to make sense why we're going to do this in a minute. But you're going to open this up just a little bit because we need to be able to make sure that we've got everything lined up the way it needs to be. So I'm going to just going to close this up a little bit so that I don't fall in the water while we are doing the preview. So as you can see, something is down there. It might be something to keep in mind for later. So we've got this opened up. Now what we're going to do is we are going to pull up, we're still in Cavern, the infrastructure, connectors, and the stone upper. Now I can see from these blocks that come up in the preview that we are going in the right direction, and I'm going to move this over so we're kind of up at the edge. Now the way we're going to line this up is, you can see with that white line where the edges of the build are, we want to be, and it should be, I'm going to double check on the other side, it should be 2 blocks from the edge of the town hall is where we want to line this up. If we move over to the other side, we should be, yeah, so 2 blocks over. And now when we move this there, you can see we are now right exactly at the edge of the town hall. And if we look outside, it is butted up right there. Now we don't actually want to be butted up, and you're going to see why later, but we need this to be at least 2 or 3, I would say 3 blocks back. So we need to have that little bit of space. And as I said, it will make sense later why we've got that. So now we're going to go back over to where we opened things up a bit. Now, when we take a look here, we can see, now this torch tells us that we are 1 block too high. This is the ground level of the connector. So we're going to drop this down by 1 block. And if you've opened this up a bit more, so you can see where that is right there. Now I do have another a really great video for Cavern talking about how to help the builder get these halls built and how they can do it without getting unalived by the googlies all the time. So I do suggest if you've never built with Cavern, go and take a look at that one, and it will help you establish getting all these done. But this is pretty much where we want to be. We're at the right level. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to build that. Once we've done that, we're going to open this wall up. And there we go. So you're going to open up all 4. Now you don't have to, but I personally, for aesthetics reasons really, open these up. And then this space here, oh hello. We obviously have a bit of a lush cavern going on over there, so we'll deal with that in a moment. So this is going to be your entrance, one of your entrance areas into the cavern section of the colony. So you can put whatever you want. I've got lots of different decorations, and you can put like some, couriers or guard towers or various things in here. So there's a lot of different ways you can actually utilize this as you get going. And again, things are going to look a little bit different at this stage because you've got everything running in at level 1 instead of right at max level. And so you'll probably do a little bit of terraforming just to sort of clean this bit up. And as you go, you're keeping your citizens safe from themselves as you go. Okay, so you're going to put your first couple of intersections off of this first connector, which will help you establish everything going forward in the cavern section of things. So we're going to pick the intersection and the stone upper, and we're going to plop that in there, line that up just like this. And again, there's whole videos on setting up Cavern to make it easy for you. So here we go, the first intersection on this side, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to pop the first intersection in on this side, which will take care of this water thing going on. And as I said, you'll kind of deal with that as you go to clean things up. So we're going to line that up. And where are we? Are we too low? Yeah. There. That should do it. Right there. And magically cleaned up. So hopefully you won't have any problems with working that. Oh, little friend over here. Hello. Okay, so as you can see, when we built the intersection, it sticks out further. So you remember we put that connector in 3 blocks into the cliff here. But this is now only 1 block away from the town hall, and it sticks over that way. If we didn't put the connector in that couple of blocks, this would have overlapped, and you would have problems with them trying to overwrite each other. So that's why it's very important that you give that 3 block space. You can get away with 2 if you want, and there's certainly, so at least 2 blocks into the cliff so that you don't run into any problems when your intersection comes in. Now this you can use as a more fancy entrance, and you'll see what we're going to do with this space later. So once you got those in there, as I said, we're going to be spending quite a bit of time into the cavern side of things right now. So thinking about the order in which you build, you're always going to establish your colony, build your builder's hut, build that first level of the town hall in this case, get your first bit of infrastructure for cavern going on, and we're going to build a couple more things in the cavern before we move back outside. And so we're going to start by starting to establish the lower level of the cavern part. So we're going to do, so this is an intersection, so we're going to go to intersections and the stone lower. We're going to line this up, and you are looking for the stair parts right there, and they should line up just like that. And as you can see, the intersection is perfectly lined up on all four sides with that first stair in that spot. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to construct that. Now you could go ahead and get going on the one over there as well. Now what I would probably do at this point is consider adding a second builder at this point, because then you can actually get going on the inside stuff and the outside stuff with two different builders working. So that's something I would probably consider doing. So let's go ahead and actually bump that in. So it's going to be in the fundamentals, alternative, builder's hut, and the builder this time. And then we've got this lovely builder that actually fits right into one of these intersection spaces, or they can go at the end of connectors if you really wanted. And this one butts up against the wall on both sides. That dirt is a little misleading. It's actually just showing that it needs to be on a solid space up at level 5, and we're going to bump that in at level 5. So now you've got a builder that can work on all of the inside cavern stuff, and a builder that you can start to get going on the outside fortress stuff as we get going. Or you can have them both working in here, you know, kind of thing. But I always end up with 3 or 4 builders when I'm doing Cavern, because I find that things are a lot more efficient the more builders I have. Okay, so we're going to go downstairs. Now the cool thing with Cavern is that it's set up in order to be able to put things like residences and guard towers and stuff like that in the downstairs area. So I'm going to go, so we know that upstairs right there we have the connector. Now if we actually take a look at how things are in the map, so we've got connectors running this way because that's that first piece that we did. So because connectors are going this way, halls are going to go this way. And that is, let me make sure I'm in the right direction there. Be this one, right? Yeah, so facing this way, halls are going to go this way. So we're going to infrastructure and halls, and we're doing the stone lower hall. This is running this way. I can see it's not correct, so I'm going to flip it. And with the halls, you can see that they've got these pieces that will merge up, and we're putting it at the right level there. And we're going to go ahead and place that. Again, you can go and get a refresher with the Cavern videos. So this hall is going to allow us to put in a variety of things. We're going to be putting in the residences. So I'm going to pop in two residences. I'm going to put in one, but what I would do when you get going is you're going to start with 2 level 1 residences because they're quick and easy to build, and it gives your first couple of guys somewhere to live. So they're going to line up just like this, like that. So you can see where it's lined up on the edge, overlapping, so it's right on that side. And we're going to go ahead, we're going to place that at level 5, and we're going to construct that. So now you've got somewhere for your folks to live, because they get quite cranky if they don't have anywhere to live. So as I said, you will pop in that, that second one there to get going. Now you can, if you want, start with this, the other connector down here, the stone lower, and just get a lot more of that downstairs infrastructure on the go. So we're going to pop that in there because we're probably going to need it in a minute, but we will get to that. So now we've got the basics that we have to have: the town hall, builders huts, and residences. So now they're going to stop yelling at you that they don't have anywhere to live. Right now you are just feeding them, giving them food into their inventories to keep them going for that. Now, one of the big things with Fortress is that you are going to have that wonderful barracks. And we're going to be utilizing that. And that barracks is going to be coming out towards the front here and making your front gate, which you're going to be building your walls off of. And in order to do that, we are going to need to have a university, because you need to be able to research in order to be able to build that barracks. So in some cases, depending on what style you're doing, you can leave the barracks for a while. You don't have to get to it right away. But this is one of those cases where you really kind of do need to have that barracks researched. So you are going to need that university. Now, where we're going to put it is we're going to use Cavern. We're going to use one of the mega halls, and in this case it's going to be the Scholars Hall, which contains the university. And so we're going to go ahead and we're going to just pop it in there. Constructed. Now, what I was saying earlier about making sure that that town hall was on the cliff side of a chunk border and not on the ocean side of a chunk border, and it's because of making sure that we have the amount of space that we need to get this in at first. If you don't, like say for example, if it had been on that side, we would have been just so the chunk border or the colony border would have been right here, so you wouldn't actually have been able to build this hall. But by making sure that we were on this side, the border was here. It actually just got expanded by us putting the residents in. But yeah, so that's the important thing. So you may need to, if you don't have that quite right, you may need to use some guard towers to expand your borders out before you can actually build this. So hopefully the borders were kind to you and you had enough space to be able to do that. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to then be doing the university itself. And I'm choosing the Mega Hall one and the university, and I'm going to be bumping that in at level 5 and making sure that everything is lined up. That is not where it's supposed to be at all. Okay, there we go. I think, yeah, that should do it. When you've got your stacks lined up here, you know that you're in the right place. And again, you're going to be putting it in at level 1. I'm going to be just constructing it here at level 5. And then you'll be able to go in and start taking a look at these. Now the barracks is going to require 3 levels of guard tower before we can actually research it. So one thing that's really cool again about Cavern is that you can start getting those requirements. You can build the alternative guard towers down here. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to pop one in. So the Cavern has, under the military alternative, guard tower. This is the wrong direction. Flips that around. It has this little guard tower that fits into this space. So we're looking for, again, these connecting blocks to line things up. They are now overlapping, and we're going to, we're gonna put that in, again, we're gonna put that in at level 5, but you'll be putting it at level 1, just like that. So these pop in right there, and when we take a look at this, they take up just this little bit of space. So what I would do is I would probably put one here, put another one here, and then if you're running everything up at level 1, you can put one somewhere else, but it's always a good idea to be increasing your builders to at least level 2 or 3 as soon as you can, because they work a lot faster, they have the better tools, things like that. So you'll be able to just increase one or both of these to, you know, like a level 1 and level 2, or right up to level 3. So this will give you the guard tower levels that you need for researching the barracks. And so you've got quite a bit going on in here, and as I said, with your digging all of this out, you're going to have a pretty significant amount of the materials that you need for all of the fortress builds and everything out here. So we are running up on time at this point, so you can see it doesn't look like a whole lot from the outside, even though we're at level 5. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a bit of what it looks like at level 1, and here we go. Okay, so here we are with a level 1 preview of where we're going to end up by the end of the next video. So a little exciting preview for you. So let's take a look. So as you can see, we've got that supply ship going on there with the builder's hut at level 1. We've got that level 1 town hall, and what I did is I just placed the barracks hut. So you can place huts even if you can't build them yet, so that at least you have the things showing up in preview to help you line things up. And I built the platform out myself manually, and I added the 2 little wall bits at the corners to help me line up everything else. And so we're going to be going and we're going to be seeing all this in the next video, but these are fortress wall sections, and these are fortress guard towers. So if you wanted to do the bit of work to build that platform out and start putting these walls in, you can put these guard towers in as well to help make up that 3 levels of guard tower that we're going to need in order to research to be able to build that bad boy. But we can do it without building this by getting this platform in there in order to do things. And as you can see, we are right up against the edge of the colony border when we do that, but it's totally fine. There's no reason to panic because you have just enough room. And yeah, so I have done that, and as I said, we're going to get that going as of the next episode. So let's go back to the finished version and talk about what comes up next. Okay, and so we're back here, and as you can see, this is going to be awesome. So join me on the next video where we will do the next set of builds, which is going to be on the outside here. So getting to where you saw we were at with that level 1 preview. So I hope that you are having an absolutely fantastic day and that we see you again very, very soon. Bye-bye.